Hello, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to the frozen north of Icewind Dale for our Rime of the Frostmaiden campaign. It's an absolute pleasure to have all of you here already. Welcome, big shout out to Play Nerd Allies and Kaz in chat already, and everyone else lurking around there. Absolutely delightful to have you along with us for our adventures as we continue our campaign here into Season 2 with these fine people who I'm also very happy are joining us. Thank you, my fine adventurers. It's very, very nice to see you all, as always, as we delve back into the mountains and blizzards and treacherous avalanche-ridden valleys of the Spine of the World mountains. Now, before we do that, let us quickly say a hello and thank you to those in the VOD squad as well. Thank you for catching up with our adventures whenever you are able to. It is an absolute pleasure to have you along with us whenever you can do that thing, as well as those fine people. Let me also give a shout out to our artist. Do head on over to Rime of the Frostmaiden Art. Head on over to Emma City Art over on Twitter, as they are the fabulous artists who did these lovely, lovely pieces, and we are waiting with bated breath for a reveal, which is going to be coming very, very soon. We're excited to see that, and you can join us for that very soon as well. But in the interim, do enjoy these other pieces of art and head on over to their Twitter and see what's going on. Speaking of Twitter, we have one of our own. You can head on over there and see news and little discussions about D&D and that kind of stuff going on over there as well. And there is YouTube as well. It's the home of said VODs and the VOD squad, where you can get information and links to everything that is relevant to our channel. Now, that said, let us give a massive shout out to the fabulous Sirenscape as well. Epic games need epic sounds, as they like to say. Head on over to sirenscape.com to give them a free try, and you... Cheers, cuz. That's a pleasure. You can head on over there and try them out for free for a month, and then you can become a Super Siren subscriber to have access to all of the incredible sound effects and music that they have available for you. And you can upload your own pieces of music, such as those that we like to use from the fabulous YouTube channels Dark Fantasy Studio, Travis Savoy, and Epic Journey over there. Fantastic sources of music that you are able to use in your projects as you would like. Also, what else? There's other stuff. I'm sure there's other stuff. A massive thank you, as always, to the wonderful CZRPG, who's a general friend and sponsor of the channel, who will be sponsoring our epic one-shot roulette, randomly generated one-shot on Thursday, just a couple of days away. We only have 2 more characters to reveal. We had a fantastic session last Friday where we really enjoyed generating all of those crazy builds and characters on stream for the players. We'll be joined by the fabulous Josh and Elle from Dreaded GM, so do not miss that, as well as our new friend Scarlett, who I played with for the first time earlier today, in Japan at least, as we did some secret playtesting stuff on the side there. We had a very nice time. It was a pleasure to play with her before the one-shot on Friday, on Thursday. And also our friend here, Shadov, was there for that playtest as well. Thank you very much for joining us for that. Speaking of these lovely characters, let us jump down there and see just where they're at. Once I've done a quick reminder of what's going on here, they arrived in the valley of the Spine of the World Mountains, where a secret laboratory is said to be tucked away. The birthplace of none other than Talm, our Frostforged, our equivalent of Warforged, kind of robotic reborn character that we have here. After suffering a rather nasty death in an avalanche, he was brought back to his adventuring life here in the form of this Frostforged robotic, semi-robotic, semi-organic form that we have with us today. And this is the laboratory where it all happened, but unfortunately the scientists and the dwarven guards that were looking after them have been trapped. They've been cut off by a rampaging ogre warband, an ogre warband that our characters and ahh'd about whether they should try and sneak by or whether they should see what this fascinating ritualistic fights they have going on every evening was all about. And it was Professor Mame of Luskan University who woke up and chose violence that day, as sneaking around the side was never an option, and they boldly marched into the camp, distracting the ogres who were charging forward to tear their puny heads from their equally puny shoulders. They were distracted by the bright lights of Shadow's flaming sword, just long enough for them to be challenged by our bold adventurers, and they joined the ritualistic fight that we don't talk about. Rule 1 of Ogre Fight Club is that we don't talk. Yes, the ritualistic salute was done. Shh. And the battle was commenced as they managed to very heroically and very decisively beat off the contenders that were fighting against the massive ogres and winter wolves. Sorry, I get the right name. The sentient speaking wolves with their icy breath weapon. But they were no match for our bold adventurers here, and impressed by their combative skills, they were allowed passage through the ogre camp and arrived up at the Frost Giant archaeological site, this incredible ring of menhirs and standing stones in a ring at the far south end of the gorge. And there it was they met the beleaguered dwarves trapped here by those ogres and the other members of the laboratory, although they have yet to venture inside, as we left off last time when they had just arrived and having met some of the commanders of the camp. And that is where we left them last time. But let's see how they're doing and get a quick introduction from all of those lovely people. Shadow, who are you? Who are you playing, and where are they at right now?
I am the Lorendrow Paladin of Vengeance. I'm here to find my sister and help out this war-torn frost and frozen hell. Some perpetual darkness.
Yep. That's the bigger picture problem there. Yes, right now we're dealing with these poor dwarves, but there is the slightly lingering problem of that rather spooky owl and goat-horned figure that we see in our picture there, as All the Frostmaiden has plunged all of Icewind Dale into a permanent winter and night. Soyala, who are you? Who are you playing, and where are they at?
Alright, so I'm Sarah, and I play Soyala, the Life Cleric Tabaxi, and I'm glad that we made it through without having, too much bloodshed, although I'm worried what will happen on our way out. But yeah, just ready to see what the outlook is right now with everybody that has been trapped here.
Indeed.
So
Thank
just
you.
trying to help them. Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. And moving on, the said Frostforged, Tom.
Hello, it is me, Josh, or today, you'll know me as Tolm, the awkward Frostforged brewing guy. Anyway, it's
Go on. Awkward in common,
awkward in common.
mouthy in dwarvish.
An asshole, a fucking asshole in dwarvish, really. If we're going there. Anyway, he's excited to see what's here, meet some of these people that are here, but he's a little bit afraid that he won't have time to spend much time in this experience. They need to figure out how to get out of here pretty quick.
Indeed. And speaking of someone who would probably like to spend a bit more time here than they're going to be able to, Professor Mame, please.
Right now, Mame just remembers the anxiety of last week. Well, last few minutes of basically doing a type of fight club with the ogres, and glad that my comrades made it out alive. But also, I'm just really fascinated by these huge 50-foot monoliths that are surrounding us, that go like from 20 feet to 50 feet. I'm just looking around, gazing, and just like ignoring everything, but knowing in the back of my mind I should pay attention to my comrades. Oh, I forgot to say, I'm Sabrina, and I'm playing Mame, the Gloomstalker Gallus. So,
Indeed.
Yeah.
Professor Mame. Nice to give their full title. All right. Thank you very much. Now, moving on. let us return to the Birthright Stones, this frost giant archaeological site that is the fortification. It's very, very defensible site, as you just have this one kind of choke point entranceway into the stone circle, which the dwarves are defending valiantly. As we said, you came up past several half-frozen ogre corpses on your way up to the stones, and you have arrived. So, the scene is yours, my friends. What would you like to do?
So we are being led by, oh geez, what was her name?
It was Adrienne Ogathorn.
Ezra? Or
Ezra
we're
is
meaning
the
okay.
captain, yeah.
Yep.
You met the lieutenant, who
Yep.
was very, very keen to hear news of Emilia, the dwarf that had escaped, and asked you to rescue their friends and colleagues. I was
Okay.
very happy to hear that she is alive. Shut up.
Persuaded her to give me this magical armor.
Okay, the captain, the person in charge, might be the one to talk to about that.
All right. That's where we're going, right?
I believe so, if you wish. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit big on you. I don't know, buddy.
Well, it'll reform. It's magical, as I was told.
He has a point.
All
Now-
right. Should we tell her about Amelia's survival?
You had already talked about that, so she was delighted to hear about that, and was
Okay.
very, very happy that are all arrived safe and sound. But she's very curious. So you have to tell me, how was it you got through the camp? Did you sneak by? A small group like you could have easily snuck around the outskirts.
I'm afraid we're sworn to secrecy.
Suffice to say, mommy, balls of steel.
Oh, I've only heard good things about Gallus.
I'm sorry to say, but the way we came through is confidential.
I see. Although if there's any intelligence that you can give, any tactical advantage that will help us get out of here, then the captain will demand to know.
We cannot talk about the specifics, but I suppose we could talk about things that we learned along the way. They have a salute.
Oh, aye. The ogres?
Yeah, something like this.
Oh, okay. But why are they so organised? That's. I mean, come on, we'll have to get you inside. You have to tell the captain this. And she
How many of you are left here?
At the moment, there are 20 of us.
Okay.
We've lost.
How
We've
many
lost a few
were
to
there
skirmishes.
originally?
There was 30 of us.
I see. Anyone have any critical conditions?
There are. Are you a healer?
Yes, I can help.
Oh, then yes, you are most welcome. Thank you so much. Now wait, what's this? So yeah, she leads you in further into the ring of stones there, where you can see inside of which there are scattered, injured dwarves kind of lying around, and various supplies that are stacked, weapons and things that are ready to be snatched up and used in a moment's notice. Against one of the walls, you see that there is a very large thing that's been covered in some kind of canvas bedding, just leaning up against the side of the wall. But she says, so Emilia sent you to help us, right? To help us get out of here.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think so.
Said that there was as we had to hurry as quick as we could. That you guys were holding the defenses as best as you could.
Aye, we're quite concerned. The ogres from time to time like to take the opportunity to taunt us with the fact that they have some of their giant kin allies on the way.
Oh,
Oh, I
well, that's
don't.
not good.
Did we know that? I don't think we did.
No, we did.
Have they ever actually
I
attacked?
knew a little bit of that about that.
Oh, okay.
The ogres, yes, quite often they do get bored every now and then and lead attacks up the valley. You saw what happened to them, though.
There are quite a few of them out there.
Aye.
We're not. I don't think we'll be able to break out with, an attack. We'll need something a little bit more cunning. Cunning? Yeah,
It's,
that's the word.
Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this cold and this snow, and you can talk to the captain about any ideas that you've got. I need to go back and make sure the entrance is properly guarded.
Okay.
I'll announce you and then get back to it. And she carries on and continues towards this large stone-mantled kind of archway that leads into the cliff face itself. And as you approach, again, you see those massive sarcophagi lining the walls of the far side of the valley, the end of the valley here, up against the cliff face. And again, there's that one with the tumbled down lid, this massive, plate-like slab of stone that had fallen off. One had been knocked off by some kind of avalanche or activity before. And again, there's that ominous block of ice inside that clearly, at one point, had contained the remains of a frost giant. But there is just a large frost giant-sized indentation in the ice, and no sign or hint of the previous occupant. You can see that they do have runes etched on the outside of the sarcophagi.
Can I read them?
Can I read them?
You speak giant, yeah?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay. The one that's missing says, here, words to the effect of, here lies Harry.
Don't worry about this one, Mama. It just says, here lies, how do you pronounce this in common? Hardy. Ah, Harry. Oh, that makes. Oh, I don't. Okay.
Okay, I see. Just.
It's the giant skeleton we,
Oh my
There it is.
god.
There
The
it
witch.
is.
I just realized. Oh my god. Yeah, that motherfucker. I mean that mother effort.
Well,
Yeah.
the good news, I guess, is that he's taken care of.
Yeah, I guess that's good.
Shadow, if you don't know what they're talking about.
Nope, not a clue.
So
The
basically,
good news, Shadow, is that you don't have to worry about it.
yeah, Sea Hag made him rise, become zombie. He really
He
has a
had
punch.
one. Yeah, his swing was a bit scary.
If you could see here, I lost some of my feathers. They're still not back yet. But
Ooh.
anyway,
Gnarly. Well,
Okay.
trusty pair of adventurers you are. Group, I guess.
Anyway, do they all just essentially say something to the effect of, "Here's a giant. His name was Bob."
Mhm.
Okay.
So hang on, let's do this. We've got 4. So we've got Harry, Bob. Any takers?
Ed.
Ed, and
And we gotta go with something that's more than one syllable. Franklin.
Franklin. Okay. Noted. So
Harry, Bob, Ed, and Franklin.
Bob, Ed and Franklin are presumably still entombed. Okay. Noted. And as Lieutenant Ogathoin leads you into the interior, you follow on behind her, and down the end of this stone corridor, very functional, kind of quite geometric shaped, there's no kind of, arching curves or anything to it. It's just, blocks of stone facing what's clearly been carved out of the cliff face. And down the end, you do see a strange glow, and kind of flickering light, although it's kind of blurred out as there is some kind of covering that is sealing off the end of this corridor that must have been added later on. And Taln, as you see this, you kind of get, if this was a movie, right? You get there's that kind of like static sound and like the flash of light, and then you kind of like you have a flashback to being on a gurney, like being wheeled down this same corridor. It's like, I think this will suffice. There seems to be a spark left this time, but we must hurry. And you remember the jolt of crashing through whatever it is that's blocking, the doorway that's blocking the end of this corridor, and just a dizzying array of lights and, bubbling vats and tubes and all kinds of apparatus in this strange room. And it is that same array of bizarre and alien technology, alien to you as in, not as in from the Illithids, from the Nautiloid ship. But it does remind you a lot of what you've seen in the miniature laboratory that was in the mead hall in Goodmead. And you push through that space and enter inside.
This feels familiar. Comfortably so.
Are you alright, Tone? You
I
stopped
mean-
dead in your tracks.
I'm like a mechanical robot man, so like this is about as alright as I get. I'm pretty stable.
I know nothing of ghost bots, so
Are there anything in like tubes here, like there is back at Goodmead?
There's a dizzying array of like apparatus and things here. There isn't a brain in the jar immediately,
okay.
obvious, as there was back in Goodmead. But you do see lots of different folks moving around here. Quite a few more dwarves in the similar armor and uniform as those outside, and it's to them that Lieutenant Ogathoin calls out, Captain Ezra and Captain Marblehead. And you note she uses the same surname as Emilia that came to Goodmead. Captain Marblehead, it seems that Emilia was successful. These adventurers have arrived to lend assistance. And this burly dwarf in like heavy armor, it's the one I used in the tweet today, if you saw that. It was the... hang on, let me quickly show you here. Where is he? This gentleman. There you go.
Oh, I
Focus. Okay.
badass.
Yes, this gentleman with his long pleated ADH beard, long kind of gingery hair of his beard, cinched together with something's skull at the end, turns around and he's got the same armor, big battle axe strapped to his back, and he's like looking over plans. You can see it's a map of the valley, and you can see they've added extra drawings and stuff where the ogre's camp and everything is. And he turns around and he's like, "As you are, Lieutenant. You say Amelia's safe and sound." He comes stomping over. "Pleasure to meet you all."
Yes. I saw her myself. She arrived in Goodmead.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. I knew she'd make it. Well, you have our thanks. Before whatever happens. Thank you so much for risking the journey and coming out here.
Oh, well, I've been here before, I think. So
And he looks.
uh,
And he looks closer in the dim light that's in here. You know, the lights from the various pieces of apparatus and machinery and instruments that are lighting the interior of this place don't give off a very good light. But all of the people in here have dark vision, so they're all fine. He comes a bit closer, you know, and gives you a proper look, and he's like, "Oh." You're the prototype.
yeah, I guess what goes around comes around, and here I am.
Aye, here you are. Oi, cup of teeth. He yells out to the back, and you just hear a, yes, what is it, Captain? It's got a squeaky kind of nasally voice from the back somewhere. There's someone here you should meet. Oh, it's not one of those hulking brutes from the valley. He's like, oh no. Hulking, maybe, but I'm not sure if he's a brute or not.
Generally not my style, but I prefer Tinker. But...
And stepping out from amongst the machinery, until now, not able to be spotted because of their diminutive size, you see, hey Jelly, you see a Sverfneblin.
A what?
The Sverfneblin, which is the gnomes of the Underdark, the underground gnomes, comes out. They've got a long kind of laboratory kind of coat on, and they're holding a clipboard. You know, they're marking something down, and they've got these multi-lensed glasses down over their face, which kind of makes them look like Mascanada in Star Wars. You know, got these massive eyes as they come around the edge of the apparatus, and they squint towards you, and they kind of tap something on the side, and the various lenses of these eyepieces start to go and slowly move away one by one, and you know the eyes slowly reduce in size back down to normal size Sverfneblin eyes, and her jaw drops, and Tolm, a name jumps into your mind. Gertrude Copperteeth. Doctor.
Oh,
Gertrude Copperteeth.
you must be Gertrude, I think is your name.
Yes. Oh, fascinating. You have very good recollection. It seems to have oh, my boy, it's you. And she just, her little feet are just like in place, just like kind of like on the floor, and she just comes dashing over, just unable to keep in place anymore, and she starts just like kind of tapping around. Just like she pulls some strange instrument off her belt, which extends into various prongs and spiraling pieces, and starts to inspect you. She's like, yes. Oh, this is new. When did you get this armor?
Recently, I was working with Darkinius. He's good.
Yes, I thought I recognized that spot well. Yes, it is Darkinius's work, isn't it? Oh, lovely. Oh, interesting choice. Yes, works very nicely. And she's completely ignoring the other three of you. It's just completely just like locked in on Tolm and just like moving around him, like orbiting him like a little satellite, just like prodding and poking and looking here and there. It's like, so tell me, how does this work? And she's just like asking you just this stream of questions about various operating parameters and how a certain joint was working and how they, and she like goes talking about, and hey Scrappy, and she's like talking about wondering if the cold weather has affected the parts at all, and just going on and on and on.
Yeah,
And
well,
the-
like sometimes if this gets wet, like the ice will
Yes,
freeze.
Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Note it.
but-
Note it. Just scribbles it down on the thing.
But that's Soyala, and that's Mame.
Now, when you.
I tried, guys. Sorry.
Well, to be fair, he has had a physical recently, so he's all up to par.
and like actually being spoken to for the like directly for the first time, she stops and she turns around and like blinks, kind of owlishly at all of you. Interesting. Forming social connections. Interesting indeed. Who are you who have befriended the prototype?
You mean Tolm?
Tom.
Yes, I am Tolm Grimbrew. Gonna be the
Go
speaker.
on.
Of good
Yep.
word, I hope.
Where did that name come from?
Before I died, I guess.
Fascinating recollection of pre-death memories. Oh, very interesting. Very
It
interesting
comes
indeed.
in pieces.
Indeed. What kind of events triggered this recollection of your pre-death life?
Oh,
I probably being close to death again.
I see. Okay. So if we were to invoke that same emotion, that near-death spike of adrenaline, do you think you would recall more?
Oh,
would
he's
you be willing
always
to test
trying.
that
no,
theory?
ma'am, maybe not the best idea.
It'll happen again. It's almost-
Naturally.
there are a bunch of, I don't know if you've seen recently. There are a bunch of ogres
Weak
out
spots in the
there.
mountain.
It'll probably happen again.
Right. Well, never fear. This time I'll be right there to document all the different pieces of data. Oh, this is fascinating. Oh, Dakinis has done great work. How is he? What's he up to?
Oh, he's pretending to be a bartender.
yes. We had a good chuckle about that one.
But
His cover.
he wasn't very good at it. He was too mysterious.
He must have mixed up some interesting concoctions, though.
I mean, that was mostly my job, but he did sometimes.
I see. Right. Well, now, how did you discover this? Us? I must know everything. And she continues just bustling around. Now, Shadow.
Well, maybe you can
Sorry.
join. Well, as we make our way to the captain.
The captain's still with you. Yeah, he's
Okay.
he's kind of like just at the side, just like chuckling and like shaking his head. And Shadow, the captain kind of like spots your kind of military, kind of bearing, and hones in on that. He's like, "You there? Sorry, I didn't catch your names before that started."
Shido, Soyala, Mame, Tone.
Pleasure. Thank you all for coming. And just there's just this stream of consciousness still going off just to the side of you having this conversation. So, tell me, you've had a closer view of what's going on down in the gorge. What's our situation?
Grim.
Aye.
We can't explicitly tell you the details, but maybe after we've dealt with it.
So, what would you
Yeah.
would you assess our best way forward to be? How are we going to get out of here?
We're either going to have to deal with the imminent threat of giants, or sneak our way out.
So, do you think there's a proper threat of giants coming up? It wasn't just them just speaking shit to us,
Tolm.
I think there's a pretty good chance they're gonna show up. We gotta leave shortly.
And Dr. Copperteeth's just like, oh no, that's quite out of the question. Not until we're finished with your your sister.
Oh,
What?
What?
Oh,
She's here.
recently,
Sister.
we had a bit of an accident.
You'll have to elaborate, Smurf.
It's snaff nibbling.
Ah,
Nibbling.
gotcha. All right, Tiny. Explain yourself.
Doctor will suffice.
Dr. Tiny,
No
explain
doubt.
yourself.
No doubt you saw the aftermath outside, and there was a rather nasty avalanche recently. We lost a couple of the guards, unfortunately, and they were beyond saving. But the professor was okay.
Professor.
The professor?
Professor.
Some curious folks. They just appeared one day in the valley. Apparently, they came to check out the ruins.
Wait, can you? Did they come from Luskin University?
I didn't talk to them, Captain. And Captain Marblehead comes over. Aye, they did say something like that. Aye.
Oh, where are they now? Are they somewhere inside?
You're probably gonna want to wait on that one.
And
Mame,
Dr. Copperteeth is like, yes, right this way. Come along.
Oh
And
boy.
just gestures to you, Mummy.
I'll hang back and talk to the captain about this armor.
I'll proceed ahead.
Okay. And Dr. Copperteeth just goes off, weaving through the various bits of machinery and blinking lights and strange tubing with these coloured liquids flowing through it. And she leads you round a bank of whirring clockwork intricacy. And Mame, you are confronted by a similar containment vessel to what you saw the brain floating in at Goodmead in the mead hall. And you see a nondescript lump of organic matter in the fluid. And a torn, ragged Luskin University cloak draped around the outside of the containment vessel. The professor! Professor! Someone seems to know you.
Can I? It's just a lump of flesh?
Yes, it seems to have been very, very badly damaged, but whatever this spark that was mentioned in Toln's flashback just before seems to have deemed it worthy of being kept in stasis like it is.
Dr. Gertrude, where's the rest of the body? What spark were you talking about earlier?
Oh, yes, I'm afraid she was terribly, terribly wounded by the avalanche. Almost entirely destroyed. But we were able to find... We're in the process of studying it ourselves. Toln? Yes, that's right, was what it was. Yes, prototype?
yes.
Yes, okay. Yes, Toln had it, and this specimen also had it. Some intrinsic spark of life, some desire to carry on, to not pass beyond and move on into the Raven Queen's embrace, if you buy into that nonsense.
This is my comrade you're talking about.
I'm sorry?
This is my comrade from the same university, professor at Luskin University. She was in the group with me that came to 10 towns, and you're telling me she's now a specimen.
Well, it was just a way of categorizing and, showing what's going on. Maybe you can trigger some memory, some spark of the pre-death recollections or something?
Out of character. By the way, so you're just saying it's just a nondescript lump of flesh, like nothing really...
There's no features to speak of.
and I'm just okay. Back into character. I'm like, I just look at my comrade in disbelief, and then I look at Tolm. I'm like, so you're telling me Tolm was in the same sort of containment, and he became the Frostforge he is now?
Yeah, nothing so advanced as we have now. Back in those days, we had to kind of splice things together as best we could.
Okay. I just put my
So there's
hand on the.
potentially hope.
Yeah, but it's a bit worrying. I know some
I
of my
mean,
comments.
Mame, you were close to them, so maybe this professor or this scientist is correct. Maybe you could spark something,
Um,
get a
However,
reaction.
in
Maybe.
this state, I doubt that is possible. Anyway, it makes sense now. We do have to finish this work, which means we need to eliminate the ogres outside. We can't transport the professor in this condition.
Is there a body being made for it?
Yes, indeed. Yes, we were most pleased to have another specimen to work with. And she kind of like looks to the side to Mami. Another person to save. And we are in the process of working to incorporate them into their new their new body. Yes.
Yeah, are you the only one
Are
doing this? Are you doing it by yourself?
Oh no. Everyone, trusted colleagues. And just emerging from out of the various bits of machinery, you see about 6 other Sverfneblin all come out, all with similar lab coats and various optical instruments on their faces they're pushing up, and all of them become equally excited to see Tom and come
no.
rushing.
Oh.
Speaking of avalanches, there is a mini Sverfneblin avalanche as they all just come scuttling through the machinery and ducking under gurneys and stuff and coming over and gathering excitedly around Tom, seeing just what's going on with him.
You guys, I'm gonna be a minute.
Sure.
Okay.
Captain,
Yes,
speaking of
Shadov.
eliminating this ogre threat,
Aye. Is
I'd
it
ask-
possible? Do you think their numbers are overcomable?
we have a plan,
Aye.
but I'm going to need that armor.
Armor? What you talking about?
Your comrade fell while valiantly killing many of the ogres on his way out.
Oh,
But
oh god, what was his name? Damn it. I wrote down the other names, not that one. Excuse me, everybody.
Parole?
Yeah, I forgot to write it down too.
Yeah, me too.
Lodwick?
How rude. After his gallant sacrifice. Where are we? Okay, Peril, yes, Peril Lodwick. And Shadow, you know that name.
how do I know that?
You would know that name, yeah. It's just we didn't keep it noted there.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Charlie.
Mr. Lodwick fell while valiantly killing many of the ogres. I noticed he also has some pretty nice armor that I could
Well,
use.
give me a full report. What happened? How did he take out some of the ogres? Just by himself?
Much like Tone did, he triggered an avalanche. And unfortunately, he was caught in the fall of snow and perished.
Oh, I see.
We
Well.
gave him what we could of a burial.
Oh, that's appreciated. I'll have to
Now,
stop by and pay my respects if we ever get out of here. If he's responsible for my Amelia getting out.
We'll gladly show you the way if we can.
Thank you.
I would request the loan of his armor.
Aye. It is our way to see that those kind of things are passed on. And, Lordwick didn't have any family. Even back in the Dwarven Valley, there was nobody for him to pass it on to. And, oh, thank you, Charlie. If it is as you say, then I think Lordwick would be proud to have you wear it.
As a man of military tradition, I would be honored.
Aye. Well, tell you what. How about we give you a honorary commission into the Frostbite platoon?
Appreciated, Captain.
But you have to earn it. You get us out of here, and you get me back to my Amelia, will you?
I was going to
my
say, what exactly is the plan here, the outcome? I see that you have research here, but that is maybe something you want to come back to? Is this place something you want to keep in good condition? Where are you planning to go? Goodmead?
It seems that the situation here has become untenable. We're gonna have to, well, to be honest, we've already rigged the place to get shut of the technology and the research here once we've salvaged everything that we can. And it took some time, but Dr. Copperteeth has been convinced that once this new patient has been implanted into the exoskeleton. I don't know the terminology myself, but she has consented to leave.
I turn to Dr.
Yes,
Copperteeth.
Mammy, you and the doctor are still away. You're away from this conversation.
Okay.
So yeah, we skip back in time a little bit there. So what are you saying, Mammy?
I ask her, Dr. Copperteeth, after like the avalanche of these little serfs, and I'm like, Dr. Copperteeth.
Yes.
How soon can you get my comrade into this body?
It's difficult to tell. It's a very delicate procedure. We do not want to get crossed wires.
Yes, the servo is working. Anyway, I have some experience with this, hands-on, as it were, and what can I do?
Oh, you're suggesting to assist us in our procedure?
I see no other option.
Right. Yes. Well, I believe the specimen, the professor is prepped and ready.
The individual, yes. If he wants these medical terms.
Yes. And you now Shadov, I think let me quickly.
How often do the ogres attack?
Oh, there's no logic or pattern to it. It's just whenever they're feeling a bit restless or bored. Although never in the evenings. You know, such as that is in this place.
Do you have guards posted to keep lookout?
Oh, of course. Hi. Yeah, at the entrance to the stones. You saw them as you arrived.
Making sure.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to find. Oh, there it is. Okay. Da-da-da-da. You know, I think D&D Beyond, bless them. Thank you to all of their hard work that they do. I think they've made their search engine a bit more robust. It's much easier to search for things now than it used to be. Huzzah! So it used to be like so exact. Yeah, this doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't need attuning to this armor, Shadow, so you can.
Right
I
away.
believe, yeah, you can use it right away. Yeah. What's your strength score?
Oh boy.
11.
11.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Is that too low?
It is. Do you have proficiency in heavy armor? If you go to the left side where you have your proficiencies.
Yes.
Okay. Then you're okay. If you weren't proficient in heavy armor, it would have been too heavy for you.
Oh.
If you're not proficient, you need to. Yes, if you're not proficient, you need to have a strength of 15.
Oh wow.
Oh.
The
Oh,
little,
wow.
Now, the good thing about this is, it is a suit of splint armor, which gives you a nice AC, but it's this kind of flexible material. It's more flexible than normal armor is, as it's made of mithril. And
Oh boy.
this kind of armor would usually give you disadvantage on stealth checks and the like, but this does not.
Ooh.
Fantastic. Dwarven
Indeed.
engineering.
It is +1 mithril splint mail. Let me see if I can get that for you.
+1 mithril splint. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Better than regular mithril splint.
Scrappy. Ooh, expensive.
Oh, what's this mithril? Not a +1? Ugh.
Ugh.
Garbage.
Get out of here.
Not even +1.
I like that
Okay, as a brief,
non-disadvantage.
brief pause from the dialogue here, everyone. Massive welcome to everyone watching. It's good to see you all. Lovely to have you. And thank you for the generous gifted subs there, Charlie. And it was a pleasure to play with you before for the first time. I am looking forward to doing so again. All right, mithril. I can see there's +1 half plate. Let's see.
I should keep a comrade counter for myself, like 1 comrade alive, 1 comrade around, 1 in shape of
Yeah.
some sort of meat. Some
Meat form.
some eaten probably by the hag because their stuff was in that cave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
I'm
all
just like-
meat bags.
So, if we take off your chainmail, that takes you down to a poorly armor class of 12. But if we add the mithril splint, boop, that puts you up to 17.
Oh wow.
Hey.
Oh.
Much better. I think, yeah, it's only 1 better than the chainmail was, which I guess is where the +1 comes from. But you know, that chainmail was giving you the disadvantage.
Oh,
So
hey.
there you go.
Yeah.
You do not have that disadvantage anymore.
It is all good.
But you are over your carrying capacity, so you're gonna have to get rid of. You're gonna have to sell off that chainmail pretty sharpish. But that's doable. Once we get back to civilization, such as it is in the Icewind Dale.
Sounds good.
All right. So, yeah, you have that sorted there. Where did you get the Eyes of Charming?
Tone.
Me.
That was Tolm.
Oh,
I
thank you.
just made him and gave him to him.
Very
Yep.
kind.
Yeah.
Very kind. welcome,
they-
welcome
they-
visit.
they-
It's a present
they'll
from my
probab-
country.
They'll probably go away.
Okay.
Oh,
but-
what?
I
no.
can only have so many infusions, so
Yeah,
I'll
that's
probably
true.
be
Ah,
swapping them out.
Okey-doke. Okay, thank you everyone for bearing with us there a brief moment. Let us get rid of that and pop this back. And actually, the captain, as he gives you your honorary commission, Shadov, he gives you the armor, and he also gives you a small, thick-glassed bottle.
what's this?
And as you look inside, there's a blue potion inside that bubbles and steams as if it's boiling.
Captain?
Something for if things get a bit hairy.
What exactly does it do?
Oh, it's a portion of heroism.
All right. I appreciate it.
This will help you to keep up with the rest of us.
I'll have no problems with that, Captain.
We'll see. And yes, Mami, back to you and Copper Teeth.
I look over at Tolan and Copper Teeth and be like, so, because giants are probably heading this way, how long exactly, hours, a day, can this surgery take place?
I've never done this before. I have no idea. Copper teeth.
Copper Teeth?
Well, it's only our second time. We'll see how it goes. Should be easier than the first time.
How long did it take the first time?
A week.
Oh,
How long
I
has
see.
it been?
4 days.
Okay.
maybe because it'll be faster, so maybe within a day or two, hopefully a day.
Well, I'm gonna leave the planning of the escape to
All right.
you.
Gestures.
Being the, more naturally inclined of the two of us, I'll see
Me?
to. Yes.
Oh God, I was
No.
the one that got us into this situation.
I'm gonna look
sorry.
at this.
Mami,
Hmm.
you recall that brain in the jar could communicate
Oh,
back in
Oh.
Goodmeat.
okay. Well, I walk up to the brain. Sounds really weird.
The fleshy mass.
Fleshy mass. That was my friend, who I do not know who it is, but because
Indeed.
it was female, I can probably narrow it down.
There were
F-
three. There were 3 other female members of the expedition. There was, four male professors, 4 female professors.
Okay, so there's
Oh,
8. Is that including me?
Yes. So you have met. You've met one of the male professors that was up in Sunblight's fortress, being held captive there.
And
What was their name? Hang on.
I just know the boy,
Notes,
kid.
notes.
I should know more about my comrades. I know he could do some healing, maybe.
Lyos Dragon Scale? Scale?
Yes,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yes.
you
Or
found it.
the
Yep.
chaplain?
Yeah, the elf.
elf. My elf friend.
So it's Laos. Laos you found
Laos,
at Sunblight, and you were aware that one of the other male professors had died at the Hag's caves. From the remains that you found and the writings that you found there, the one of the other male professors, the leader of the expedition, with his fabulous mustache, the tiefling with the fabulous mustache, if you remember that randomly generated art from long ago, is said to be off at that strange upside down tower in the middle of the frozen tundra that we haven't explored yet?
Yeah, my file is called Colleagues in Upside Down Tower must go save them. The
Yes.
entire document.
Yes, the fantastically named Molossus Thornfinger. Professor Molossus Thornfinger.
Okay, so
I
we
like
just
it.
need.
It was rather a randomly generated one.
Okay.
It's
I'll-
good.
I should have named my comrades before this entire campaign, so I could be like, yes, this comrade, yes, that comrade.
That's fine. That's fine. This is a collaborative process. We can do this
Okay.
as we go. If you have a name you wish to use, I have a name, but you can change that with a name if you wish.
What's the name that you have? Because
I was going with Elena Quickstar.
And I'll just go up to the glass and say, I look at the cloak, look at the size, and be like, "Oh, Elaine, is that you?"
And a strange kind of like almost like a pearl embedded in a copper disc at the top of this large container of slightly glowing liquid with this organic matter suspended inside with various wires attached to it coming off to a larger apparatus that's on the back end of this container from where you're standing. But at the front, as I said, there's this copper circle with what looks like a large pearl, almost like a golf ball sized kind of pearlescent dome embedded into it. That lights up with a warm yellow light. And it flashes and flickers in time with a voice that kind of emerges in a kind of tinny voice from a metal grate just below where that's on the side of the container. Professor. Mummy?
Oh my god. What
Where
happened?
am I? What's happened? Where are the others?
Everyone just got scattered across 10 towns after we crossed the mountains, and it's just we've lost one. I'm not sure which comrade, but some of us are okay. We still need to find the others, but I'm glad but sad to see you in this state.
The doctors, they're a little stingy with the details. What's happened?
You got in a terrible accident in an avalanche on your way here.
Yes, apparently there's some kind of paralysis. I can't feel my legs.
Oh, this is getting deep and sad. I can't take this, but okay, okay.
If you like, we can gloss over.
Gloss over. Yeah, let's just gloss over so we get like
Sorry.
past this and go on with like the other characters. But
That's fine.
basically, lots of sadness, lots of like talking about university stuff, tears. Basically telling her it's gonna be all right. You're gonna be not the same, but maybe not you perfectly, but you're not dead, and you could still have the will to move on and continue what you want to do in life, even
Yes.
though it might not be the same life you had before.
That's fine. Yeah. Yes, and she gains a lot of hope from that, and you see the lights of that flashing dome that is in time with the voice seems to represent their emotional state somewhat, and that there was that initial warmth, that warm yellow glow when they first realized it was you, and then it kind of changed to a more kind of icier blue as they were kind of becoming more concerned and afraid of their situation. But then as you managed to talk them around and convince them that it was going to be okay and that there was a way forward, it returned to that warmer glow, and you definitely got a feeling that there was a positive state of mind as you finished up that conversation there. Okay, so the rest of you, Soyala and Shadov seem to be the kind of main kind of contacts with the captain here, and he's like, so once the doctor's done with the process, what would you say is our best chance to get out of here?
I think we'll have to take a look at the perimeter and think about it.
I was gonna say,
for a
what
second.
exactly is our perimeter when we were arriving with the monolith stones? There was that, but what was around us?
Well, this site is tucked right at the end of the gorge, so apart from where there's that choke point through the entranceway into the stone circle, it's just kind of sheer cliff
Mountains.
walls, up to the
Okay,
sides.
yep.
And I mean, they would be scalable, but it would be
high
quite
up?
hard. They are, I can tell you. Let's have a look here.
Because if that's the case, leaving might not be sneaking out might
Yeah.
not be quite as easy.
They're 80 feet tall.
Okay, yeah.
And just mechanically speaking, every like quarter of that climb, you would need to make a quite difficult check.
Oh yeah, unless everyone can just fly, it's gonna make it a lot more difficult.
Yes.
Okay,
And
well,
we need to get these dwarves out too, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there would be 20 that I would guess we'd be transporting.
Captain,
Aye.
give us some time to think about this.
No worries.
We want to make sure everyone gets out alive.
And we do have the artifacts to transport and all.
Facts.
How big are we talking here of
Oh,
artifacts?
You didn't see it on your way in. It's under some canvas outside, and you remember that massive covered bundle. It was about
okay.
5 foot tall, so taller than
That's
Tom.
the only
and
one?
Mame. Aye, as far as I know, yes.
Okay.
Should we go have a look at it? So yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can as well, just to see what we have to transport as well. But yeah, I think that pretty much throws out the whole sneaking. There were guards doing perimeters all around. They've got quite a shift going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they all are, interconnected. They all seem to have some sort of grouping that normally wouldn't happen.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen all of their camps out there, and they
Aye.
seem to follow orders.
We were quite concerned about how disciplined they were. Although their true nature does shine through from time to time as they come charging up the valley to test our defenses.
Yeah, I mean, 4 of us getting by isn't that, that difficult, but
Aye.
20 and 24 and
Aye.
artifacts, that's quite a lot more to move
Does
about.
this artifact have any power?
Well, we were some of the doctors in their downtime were in the process of trying to figure it out. Maybe if you're a bit more learned in that kind of thing, maybe some of you would know a bit better.
It's not my expertise, but I could look at it. I'm sure Mame could also maybe ascertain something.
Right. Well,
Okay.
yes. Fingers crossed.
What think you?
Also, I heard that maybe there were some that might need some medical help. I would like to see the condition of that because that might also hinder or change plans.
Oh, we'd very much appreciate that. Thank you. Hi. And he shows you to a section of the laboratory. And this room is very interesting because it's clearly what used to be some kind of tomb and like religious site. But it was just this massive kind of squared off chamber cut into the hillside. And it's just been kind of co-opted as a laboratory, and all of the equipment has been put in here just for its remote and secretive location. The
Oh, also, before we get too far, I do want to let Shadov know, maybe check out the perimeter of our area, what we have working with.
Mhm.
Both in and outside, if you could. So, yeah, I'll check out the medical needs. Yep.
Okay.
What are Tone and Mame doing?
Tolan is working with the
Transporting that
foraging.
body,
Gotcha.
Copper
trying to
teeth.
figure out.
Yeah, if you came over, you would just hear him speaking undercommon to a bunch of
Gotcha.
Snivneblin,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mame.
I
because he is more comfortable in undercommon than he is in common.
Shadov, as Ciala moves away to go and see these wounded, the lieutenant who you had met before, Lieutenant Ogathorn, who showed you in, comes running in from outside, and she just like blasts through that curtain doorway. She's like, "Where's the captain?"
He's right next to us, right?
No, he's gone off with Soyala to where the wounded are.
Oh. He's helping the wounded right now. What's the problem?
It's one of us. Come with me, and she just goes charging outside.
I'll run after her.
Okay. And as you both go running outside, you can see there's much more activity in the area of the stones than when you had first arrived. And there are people running to and fro, and people shouting out. And you can see the people at the choke points, like standing at the entrance to the stones. And they're shouting out. They're like, "No, come back! Come back!"
What's going on?
And another one shouts out, "Ridlock, you'll never make it! Ridlock!" And the lieutenant's like, one of the boys realized our dire situation and decided it was time to get back some of that ammunition that we've used. He's gone running out to try and get some of the crossbow bolts from the valley.
Oh, Jesus. Where is he now?
And both of you just go pelting across the open space between the entrance to the laboratory and the entrance of the stone circles there. And you do see, scrabbling back and forth across the open space, a small, diminutive figure almost disappearing into the twilight of the dark valley. A dwarf scuttling this way and that, scooping up as many crossbow bolts as they can, vaulting over the prone forms of the dead ogres that are lying there. And it's at that point you hear a distinctive roar as ogres at the edge of the camp notice this little figure, and you hear like, and that's when the first of the javelins comes soaring through the night sky and pierces into the snow just to the right of where the dwarf is scrabbling across the open ground. And then another, and then another, and then the fourth one goes straight through the thigh of the dwarf, and you hear his yelp of pain. And the other dwarfs from around the walls are firing their crossbows down towards the camp, trying to hold them back. And they do manage to stop the ogres from advancing out of their camp and moving towards the dwarf. What do you do?
Rush towards the wounded dwarf.
Okay, you go bolting forward from between and they're like, "Stranger, no, come back!" And you just like go running out. This new armor moving effortlessly with you, just flowing across your muscled physique as you slow motion charge heroically out of the stone circles, and you go charging down towards this dwarf, and you see them as they're desperately clutching onto this bundle of arrows that they've gathered, and they're kind of like waving you back. They're like, no, don't worry. And but are you going to ignore that and keep going?
Yes.
Okay. Let me. Let's see here. Ogre. Boom. 20. Okay, here we go. So. That's not bad. Okay. A 12 would have hit you without this nice armor that you have on. But the light, movability of this armor that you're now wearing, this mithril armor, allows you to dodge out of the way as out of the darkness a javelin, crudely fashioned javelin, comes whistling angrily towards you, and it just embeds itself in the ground just next to you as you skid across the ground and you arrive where the dwarf is. As you do so, let's quickly do this here. Okay. 3 more javelins come arcing out of the night. And one of them misses, but 2 of them find their mark, I'm afraid. So that is... ...17 piercing damage. As
Total?
2 of the javelins... Yes, total. As 2 of the javelins find their mark, one of them catches you in the shoulder, another one goes across the side of you, causing a nasty gash just where the armor meets, where the top of your leg is. And you, ignoring the pain, slide across the ground to this dwarf. What do you do?
Alright, so first I'll cast a cantrip, Dancing Lights.
Okay. Where are you casting that?
Directly ahead of where the javelins are coming from.
Okay, so between you and the ogre camp.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you cast that, and you do hear a roar, as if it's kind of like a triumphant sound to it, as if they think they've caught on to where someone's hiding with a lantern or something, and they're like, "Oh, over there!" And you hear 5 more javelins like thud into the ground over where the dancing lights are.
Cool. And then as a bonus action, I'll grab the dwarf and misty step further towards the retreat, back towards where we came from.
So he has to be willing. So what do you say to him to tell him what's going to happen?
We're getting the fuck out of here. Don't be afraid.
And he looks up. He's like, "Thank you."
All right, so I grab onto him with one arm, and I guess, do I need both arms, or just grab onto him and misty step?
Yep, you just grab onto his top of his arm, and
Yeah.
What does your misty step look like? Would you like to flavor this spell?
Okay, so it's we're in the snow, right? So a flurry of snow just kind of envelops us as we disappear.
Nice.
And,
so yeah, the already swirling blizzard kind of snow that's in the valley here just starts to become more focused and twirling around the 2 of you, and as it quickly spirals up around you like a tornado almost, you're just completely engulfed and disappear from view and reappear just shy of the exit to the stones there. And there's cries of surprise from the guards on the edge of the circle, and they're like, "Quickly, inside!" And they fire off another volley. And you support the dwarf under the arm as he's carrying his massive bundle of crossbow bolts, and you go limping through back into the interior of the ruins there. And well done. As written, that dwarf dies if you merely help hold off the ogres, but because you dashed out there and did that, he is going to survive, especially if you very quickly take him to Suyala.
Fantastic. That's where we will be going, because I am also bleeding out.
Yes, and he hands off this big bundle of crossbow bolts Yes. I mean, as written, it's a bit more savage, but I changed it because of your choices there, good sir. But yes, as written, is the mortally wounded dwarf manages to crawl back up the path, hurling the satchel full of salvaged crossbow bolts up to the other guards before dying several yards from the entrance. So,
Damn.
thank you. Thank you for making that go much nicer.
That's what Vengeance Paladins do.
Indeed. So there's general kind of laughs and it's like, yeah, you bloody fool. You're lucky our new friends are here. And just general kind of like teasing him, but you know, happily and thankfully. And there's a general murmuring, and they recognize the mithril armor as being Frostbite platoon armor, and they're like, the new boy's a bit tall. Like they're just like kind of joking and making camaraderie like jibes and stuff towards you as you carrying this poor, both of you are bleeding you out. Like some of them are helping you as well. It's like oh, you did a good job, and I like pat you on the wound. Like, oh, sorry. No. And you are quickly ushered back inside to where now. So you've been led to where some of these injured dwarfs are by the captain, and he's like, "Hi, we haven't had any problems for a while now, so hopefully we've seen the last of any wounded before we get out of it." Oh God! You see Shadov and a dwarf holding each other up with another couple of guards helping them. And
Shadov, what happened? I left for just a bit.
Some ogres disrupted our tea time. We're gonna need some help.
Are they still coming?
The guards are holding them back for the moment, but we're kind of bleeding out here.
Yeah, come over here.
We lurched our way towards Soyala.
Indeed. And you don't really have to use any of your spells or anything, so you just kind of stabilize them, and
Okay.
It sounds like Dr. Copperteeth and Tulm are going to take more than this evening to finish this process. So you know that Shadov at least will be right as rain in the morning. In that miraculous
Yeah,
fashion that
just
adventurers
bandage
have.
everything. Disinfect, that kind of stuff.
Yes, indeed. Scrappy, actually, this is an Adventurers League little side mission here. little detour from our regularly broadcast content of Frostmaiden. Okay.
Yeah, if there's any that have the sniffles, I'll give them some herbs for that, and
Yep. Yeah, you generally
Yeah.
just make me
some
a
soups.
make me a medicine
Maybe I'll
check.
make some herbal soup.
Yes. One of the dwarves looks up appreciatively, takes a sip. He's like, "Good soup."
17.
Yes. Get the memes in there. Get the memes. Okay. Thank you. Yes, you do a very good job, and you are become a veritable nightingale to this dwarven contingent as they look upon tabaxis with a much warmer light. Not that they were animus against them before, but you do a wondrous job here looking after them.
Make sure you get tons of sleep. All this kind of stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Tabaxi cure all PM.
Okay. Now, Tom, you are now, Mame, are you sticking with Professor Quickstar during this process, or are you going to look at the this artifact and look at the ruins during the time that you have? How would you like to spend this?
I guess because I've told my friend she's gonna be alright,
Yeah.
I'll probably try to take my mind off that and go look around and maybe look at the artifact.
Okay. So you go out and you do. Can you make me a history check with advantage, please?
Yay, something I'm good at. I'm like, it's something I'm really good at. Hopefully I do good, so
That's very dangerous to say before the dice roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nat one. Luckily I have advantage. That's a 12.
Okay,
That's really
plus?
bad.
Plus
12.
12 total. Okay. Okay.
So
Tom,
So,
Tom will
because-
come by
If you
later.
really
to
want, you
get
have
his
your
grade.
your inspiration thing.
can I use my inspiration thing?
You have inspiration, yes, indeed. I
I
haven't
will-
said
so-
if that's a result, yes or no.
I'm just gonna, cause that 1, that 4, plus that 8, that plus 8, I was just like so confident. So I shall use my inspiration.
I see. Noted.
It's another fucking 4.
Oh,
It's
no.
12 again.
No! The fates have spoken.
Okay.
It's 12.
Noted. You
Son, then.
head back out into the cold of the ruins outside, and you're kind of looking around at these rune-inscribed sarcophagi and the looming monoliths all around you, and you see Lieutenant Ogathoin again, and she kind of gestures to you. Professor Mame, can I help with anything?
I just wanted to take a look at the artifact that was underneath this.
Oh,
cover.
the runic tablet.
Yes.
Yes,
That.
yes, right, this way. And as you head over to where that large object is covered with that canvas bedding, she pulls the covering aside, revealing a large slab of stone, completely covered with runes. And the tablet is 4 feet wide, 5 foot tall, and about 3 inches thick. It looks like it must weigh at least half a ton. It's going to be a bit tricky to get out of here, but Seer was, the head of intelligence for the Lord's Alliance, was rather keen to have it recovered.
You said half a ton?
Yeah, it looks like it weighs about that
Oh
much.
boy.
What does this runes inscribe with? If I can, so I have common, elfish, common. Wait. Or
These are it's giant. It's their giant runes.
I need Tom, but I. But he's doing
You also
something for me.
remember that Shadov seems to have some kind of magical item that helps with languages.
Oh,
Taln also, you would have spoken with Taln frequently enough to know that Taln can almost keep up with you when it comes to history.
True.
okay.
He knows a lot about a lot of stuff that you just like what Taln, why did you learn that? I mean, history was like my favorite subject, so I studied a lot, I guess.
Okay.
And Lieutenant Ogathoin fills you in on what they've discovered so far, and she's kind of talking about when they first arrived and things. She says when the Frostbite platoon found the Birthright Stones, and when they first arrived here, they were already in the state that they're currently in, covered in avalanche debris, with that sarcophagus cover toppled with the contents missing. And after a look around the site, they found the runic tablet amongst the debris, littering around the open sarcophagus. There were no other traces of any other objects that were found, but from the position of the tablet, it seemed to have fallen from the sarcophagus when it was opened, and when the lid was knocked off. And she has a rudimentary knowledge of history and a bit of reading under her belt as well, and what she's been able to make out so far is that this holy site, was this last resting place of these 4 frost giants, and she tells you, she confirms some of the things that you know about the ordning, which is the hierarchical structure that the giants all fall into, with the various types of giant being in this hierarchy, much like you've heard devils being in the 9 hells, ranking above each other, slowly up through the different levels, with hill giants at the bottom and storm giants at the top. Anyone in chat a bit more knowledgeable about the ordering than me? I think it's storm giants at the top.
Just looked
And right, and you, she says that this was clearly the last resting place of these frost giants here, and they think that the tablet contains secrets of runic magic, which has until now only been able to be used by giants, and they're hoping that further study will reveal more information.
It is Titans, Storm Giants, Cloud Giants, Fog Giants, Fire Giants, Frost Giants, Stone Giants, Mountain Giants, Hill Giants, Ettins, Giantkin, Ogres.
Ogres right on the bottom. Okay, I didn't realize they were in the ordering at all. I thought it was just the giants. Okay,
That's what it
Thank you.
says.
yeah. So yeah, it was storm giants at the top. Titans. There's not really-
Titans.
There's not really any titans knocking around. Okay, thank you. Well, there is coming up in a couple of weeks, everyone. Our new campaign, Jacinta's Tyranny. There is a form, one of the original titans named Entropy, which is in the center of a strange no man's land in the middle of the country. The strange swirling vortex, where everything just disappears into this entity, which is one of the major focuses of the religion of the area. But do join us for that on the 22nd. Okay. So you're proficient in history, aren't you?
Yes.
Sorry, and let's see. Are you proficient as well, Tom?
Yes.
Okay, so we're kind of like stepping back from the kind of regular flow of time here. So yeah, at one point I think Mame comes and talks with you and asks that you have a look at this as well. Can you give me a history check as well?
Yeah.
Please.
Then I can read it too. 19.
Okay. You try to read it, but it's actually rather tricky because this is an ancient dialect of giant.
Well, give me just a second then. I might be able to do something about that.
Mm-hmm. By the way, are you also proficient in Arcana?
Yes, I am.
Okay, you can give me an Arcana check as well. Mame, are you?
Not the best.
Are you proficient though? Does it have a little dot next to it?
No, it does not.
Okay.
No. History.
What's
Let's
your
make an Arcana check.
Please.
And I want to blow this out of the water, so I'm going to use a class feature. Sorry,
Okay.
a racial feature.
Okay.
Knowledge from a past life. Ooh. I'm going to blow this out of the fucking water. A 30.
Wow. What is this flashback from your past life that you have that helps through?
The flashback is to a moment Tolan is sitting in a classroom with a very boring teacher, dryly explaining giants ordering and giants arcana and like how giants are laid to rest, and that high school moment of like, when am I ever gonna fucking need this?
Noted.
It's about accurate.
And then Tom goes, you know, Miss Iron Rule, I did you wrong.
That is a very good dwarven classroom teacher's name. Okay, thank you. Right, with that successful Arcana check, you are able to decipher that the glyphs on this tablet detail a magical equation, but they are incredibly complex and cryptic, and they will definitely need to be studied longer before anything is able to be gleaned from them, which is why Seer had asked you to retrieve it. So you can confirm their suspicions.
Toln will kind of explain it to Mame. Well, this is really old giant. Like, I can't really read all of it. I should have studied more. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Iron Rule. I gotta send her a postcard or something.
And you know
Any-
the kind of references and things that would need to be cross-checked and everything. This needs to be taken, probably back to Mame's university, if anything.
This probably needs to go back to Luskin because like this is just like an insane arcane ritual. I don't even know what will happen if we cast a spell that does something like this.
And Mame, as far as you're concerned, this is absolute gold. This is exactly what the whole academic mission was about, finding stuff like this. And actually, Tom, you notice that the writings, with that 30, I'll give this extra information here. You discover that nearby, north of the mountains, back towards Icewind Dale, and over to the west somewhat, it has references and speakings of a large frost giant archaeological site that it refers to as Jarlmut.
Oh, Mame, this is interesting. Up, pulls out a map. Probably in like this region-ish. There's a site it's calling like Jarlmut. You'll probably want to go there.
And Mame, you know that Jarl is the the leader, and Moot is a meeting place. So this used to be some kind of giant leaders meeting place.
Oh my god. And then Mama goes on her academic squeal and whatnot. I can't do it at the moment, but
Squeals and academic.
Yeah, squeals and academic, squeaking, chirping, whatever chickens do. Yeah.
Are you okay?
And then calm down. And then I'll just be like, for this, but for right now, I will just copy all this into my journal. And, like, going around the whole thing, the artifact, writing every single tune, like, and just, like, scribbling down as fast as she could, but as accurately as she could. Because, like all the runes and pages and drawing it and whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Giant's not like a hard language. Like, do you want to study? Like, we can study, but like later.
Do you do any charcoal rubbings?
Yes. That's my first thought when you said that. Like, it's a ton, like half a ton. I'm like, you could just put the paper there, do that, copy it.
Now, Tom, you remember that Seer was very worried about this falling into other hands, so it'd probably be a good idea to remove it, regardless.
Yeah.
Unless you carried it inside and have it destroyed with the rest of the laboratory.
I think we should probably remove it. I'd like to see it studied.
Mm-hmm.
We can build the Goodmead University. For the university, Goodmead chapter.
Okay. Now, Tom.
Yes.
Roll me. What skill are you bringing to bear with this procedure to put Professor Quickstar into their
Could I make an
new
argument
form?
for intelligence tinker's tools or intelligence
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because that's a big number.
And Soyala, if you would wish to bring your medical knowledge to the fore, that will give him advantage as well.
Sure, yeah.
All right, that's gonna be a big number. Let's see how it goes. And let's just use my last activation of the day of knowledge of a past life.
Okay.
As I remember the times when this happened to me.
It's happened to you, yeah, exactly. That's easy.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
It's all coming together. It's 35.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
My intelligence is 4. My proficiency modifier is 3. At this artificer level, I get an advantage that gets me to double my proficiency modifier if I'm using a tool I am proficient with. And I rolled a 19, and then on my d6, a 6.
Fantastic.
Nice.
Okay.
5.
This procedure seems to be going very smoothly. Soyala is assisting with on the medical side of things with the transportation, and despite you being slightly queasy and concerned about the process, Soyala, it is fascinating how they, transplant the remaining physical parts of the professor into this new form. And at the moment, it's kind of covered up, and there's kind of a blanket and tarp like over the over the head section and things, and they're kind of like just there's an open hatch at the front, and they're kind of operating and connecting things delicately and joining synapses to various other receptors in the sides on the interior of this machine. And you can see what must be the case with Tulm, how all of the inner workings of the combination and the way that the organic material and the mechanical parts work together. And I would like you to make a note of something for me. From now on, whatever process you're using, be it magic or whatever, whenever you heal Tulm, you will get +1 to the number of hit points healed. Because of observing this process and getting a greater knowledge of Frostforged.
So whenever healing him, he gets an additional point?
One point of healing, yes, on whatever you roll.
I would like to imagine the reason this is going so smoothly is that he can speak Undercommon to the Snivniblin, and he can speak Giant to Soyala. Doesn't have to touch Common.
Or Dorvish, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Dorvish. Soyala. Doesn't have to touch Common.
Yeah. So you keep thinking you've done something wrong as he starts swearing blind at you in Dwarvish.
You fucking got it. You fucking got it this time.
Okay.
No, that's good. That's a good thing.
You're not sure where he picks up this Dwarvish, but you've never heard this this colourful side of the language spoken. You hung around.
Not really, no.
Much nicer dwarfs. Okay, yes, as I said, it's called a something state. Like when everything's just like gelling perfectly and like you're kind of working together. It's almost, what's it called? There's a word for it.
Zen, baby.
That's not the word I'm looking for. Zen and the Art of Frostforged Maintenance. Is that the new book that we're writing here?
Yeah.
Not motorcycles anymore.
Means bristles.
I read that book. I read that book. It's a good book. Sorry.
Is it? Okay, I just know the title. I haven't actually read it. Oh God, sorry. I'll think of it at some random point when I'm driving home later, probably. Anyway, so this all goes rather well, and you think you're making very good time, and the captain is very pleased with everything that's happening here, and as you approach the end of the procedure, Shadov, you are outside talking with your new Frostbite platoon comrades and helping them with the guard duty and keeping an eye on the perimeter and just looking at the ogre's movements and things. Mame, you are also outside looking around at the different parts of the ruins here and taking a few more charcoal rubbings before it's time to go. And
I'm not in the ICU.
No, you're fine. This is the next day now. Everyone can take the benefits of a long rest if you need to do so.
That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is the next day now.
Long rest me.
Mame and Shadov, being outside, you become aware as just as that slight grey light of the midday gloom is starting to stain the horizon off past the distant end of the valley back towards Icewind Dale, the ground begins to shake with rhythmic regularity, and the thunderous thump of huge footsteps fill the air. The guards by the Birthright Stone's entrance call out in fear, drawing your attention to the sights beyond. And as Mame and Shadov, as you rush to the edge of the site here, you see two immense humanoids that descend into the gorge from the northern end and towards the ogre camp. Each figure you can make out just in this strange half-light of the midday gloom. Each figure is clothed in ragged animal furs that barely manage to cover their bloated bodies. In one hand, they wield tree trunks like oversized clubs. In the other, they hold leashes that lead to packs and packs of large wolves. The animals, dwarfed by their giant masters, despite their threatening size. The ogres from the camp below cheer and snarl maliciously. The giants have arrived. Hi.
That's lovely.
Horny for hugs. That's a nice name.
Well,
Good to see you.
Better warn everyone. We're fucked.
How many?
Two.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean,
We are going down to make a speedy exit.
I'm in the process of essentially some form of resurrection.
Mm-mm.
I think I can kill. We can probably kill a giant, right? Like we've kind of re-killed the giant before. Maybe I have something to do.
I will do my best to defend this place for my friend who's coming back.
They're
No.
making their way towards the ogre camp.
Yes, they are. Make me a perception check.
yeah, I was like, is it just gonna stop at the camp, or are they gonna keep going?
Well, actually, no. Make me an insight check.
Shadow and me.
Music change.
Shadow.
Mame
Wait,
and Shadow,
perception?
please. Yes.
Alright,
Wait,
well-
insight.
Insight, please.
15.
Okay, Shadow.
12.
Okay, Mame, you realize from the way they're moving that they are just clumping down the valley towards the ogre camp, but they are slowing. They don't look like they're about to just kind of pile straight through it and towards the stones. And Mame, give me a nature check, please.
19.
Nice. You know from your readings and your studies of the ways of giant kin that these look like hill giants, the very lower end of the ordering, very brutish, thuggish members of the giants, not very cunning at all. They're probably almost being told what to do by the ogres, just pointed in the right direction. But you also know that they will have traveled quite a long way. They are not native to this particular area. And you are fairly certain that after this journey, you will have at least a few hours before they will mount any kind of attack. Because first and foremost, they will plonk themselves down in that ogre camp and demand to be fed.
Okay, this is good. This is okay.
And the quote that's given in the role-playing section of these giants is "Food now," quote unquote.
Okay, seems our friends need a long rest themselves after their journey. These hill giants seem like they've traveled far away and they're being controlled by the ogres. And so we have a couple hours before they actually do something.
Yes,
Hopefully.
you think you probably have maximum like 3 hours.
Oh, okay, 3 hours. Okay, I thought we had maybe 5, 6. Okay, 3 hours. Okay, 3 hours.
And you do see them, Shadov, you also see them just plump themselves down in the middle of the camp, and the ogres start carrying like big sides of beef from the roasting pits, and like just massive barrels of ale. They just clasp it in their hand like an oversized mug, and just quaff it back in one go.
All right, Tone. We might need your expertise.
You're going back inside to say this, right? He's
Did
inside
we-
working.
Did we see anything other than the artifact that might prove useful? Like,
That's all
while
up to you. Yeah,
looking at the perimeters and
you have everything that I have described to you. There is the difficult climb. There is sneaking around, although with the number that you have, that would be very difficult. And carrying that slab would be very difficult.
All right, I'm gonna go back inside and ask Tone about making a bomb.
Okay.
Bomb?
Now you also remember,
Maybe
Shtov,
if
that the Captain Ezra talked about the laboratory being triggered, being rigged to blow and be destroyed. So they do seem to have something along those lines.
Yep.
So maybe if we do a distraction one way and everyone going safely the other way, trigger the bomb once everything's done in the lab, and hopefully make it out alive. We could do this later, but
How do we get the artifact out?
um,
If the lab explodes, doesn't the artifact?
well, we would want to make sure it doesn't fall into the wrong hands, because this would help the giants and that would be bad. But I did make copies and I do have everything written
Yes.
down of this artifact, so I think if we destroy the artifact with the lab, I think that'll be good. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds like we have ourselves a plan.
Let's go to Soyala and Tom, tell them what's happening.
Okay. So you go back in there, and Tom, Sura, you're called away from the process for a while, and and you're asked to step away for a second. And Copperteeth, Dr. Copperteeth says, "Oh yeah, it's fine. I can do this bit. This is my speciality."
How much longer do we have?
Of one time, but okay.
So we have 3 hours before these ogres try to attempt something after they've rested.
Or for the
Surgery.
resurrection of your friend? Yeah.
Oh. Tom? Doctor?
I've never done this before, but I hope soon.
Copper teeth.
Copperteeth?
Yes.
Can you give us a ETA here?
Oh yes, just a few loose wires to connect.
All right. As soon as you're done with that, we're blowing this place.
We have and she goes very kind of quiet and uncharacteristically low energy, and she's like, yes, we have prepared everything that we can take with us, but this is going to set us back quite some time, I tell you.
Well, I mean, at least there's the research facility in Goodmead.
We shall see. Darkinios was always a bit of a radical. Funny ideas, that one. Too tall for my liking.
He's a bit weird, but I like him.
The altitude messes with his brain.
I mean,
How do
Yes,
we
but
keep
my
from getting
brain-
caught? Basically,
Say again, Shadov?
how will we keep from getting caught in the explosion?
That is the question here. How big of a explosive are we talking here?
Captain Ezra says, "Oh well,
How big of a radius are we looking at?
we have some interesting new tools, shall we say? A recent what's what I'm losing vocabulary today. A recent progression in our mining techniques up in the Dwarven Valley. have you ever heard of black powder?
Yes.
It's fascinating stuff, and if packed in just the right way and in the correct shape, it can be tailored to make a very precise detonation, explosion, much like magic of the priests and whatnot. We've been using it in some of our mining endeavors, although there is a slight risk of. And he looks up at the mountains around you. Avalanche.
Are there any existing caves?
No, just just what was carved into the rocks by the original occupants of this site. Nothing natural.
I think climbing is out of the question.
Can we blow a cave big enough for all of us to hide in before we trigger the explosion?
I think maybe our best bet is like having everyone go on one side while having someone be a distraction on the other side to grab the attention of everything. And
Aren't we in a choke?
Yeah, like we're kind of ended where we're at.
so even if we do cause the explosion in the cave, we'll be die from suffocation. So the only way out is going through and attacking the ogres and like trying to muscle our way through, or sneak around. And maybe like having Tone like set up like a time bomb so like we know how long we have until the lab explodes. So probably sneak around. Tone sets up a time bomb. Then we sneak around and try to get out of here.
I imagine if we did something to incapacitate the hill giants, it would demoralize the camp.
Didn't you say Lordwick had taken out a bunch of them with an avalanche?
Yes, I think that's plan number one, but how we cause an avalanche that allows us to be able to escape is the main sticking point currently, I believe.
Maybe we avalanche below the laboratory and not below the laboratory.
At that point, you hear Dr. Copperteeth in the back. Huh? Yes! Yes! All done! And there is a metallic clunk, clunk, and a slight whirring as of servos moving. And you hear a voice, Mame, a voice that you heard emanating from a container tank with the biological remains of Professor Quickstar. I believe, if the calculations are made carefully, the destruction of the laboratory will be enough to create an avalanche that will swoop down this entire valley, destroying the ogre camp, the hill giants, and everything in our way. And with a clump, 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 Professor Elena Quickstar 2.0 steps into the group. In roll 20.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh wow.
Uh-oh. Telling you got some competition.
Oh, you turned out better than I expected. I have quite a talent for this.
I was so happy I was able to find, after searching female Warforged, a non-sexy one. There's lots of sexy female Warforged. Just a fairly regular one.
Yeah, I love this one.
And
Professor
she-
Crooks.
Yes. Am I? Yes.
Sorry, continue.
No, please.
I was like, Professor Elaine, it's good to see you again.
And the Frostforged clumps forward, almost slightly uncertain of this new form, but it reaches out its two arms with these black kind of almost like leather-like gloves over the very dexterous-looking jointed fingers, and clasps both of your hands. And I'm very happy to see you, Professor Rime. This is a wonder. Now, let's see about getting out of here. And we shall stop for this evening there, as we are at a nice point and ramping up here to the escape from the secret mountain laboratory with our new Frostforged, the second of its kind in this particular world. And thank you to my players. That was an absolute pleasure. I loved all the different interactions and everything, and that was really great. Lots of really cool stuff in there, lots of character stuff, and a roll here and there as well. Always good. Some stupid rolls from Tom, but that's always good to use your toys. Always good to use your toys. But yes, we will be back here next time, and we shall see if the dwarves of the Frostbite platoon, the Svirfneblin scientists, the professor in her new form, and our adventurers are able to escape from the valley and make their way past the ogre warband and their kill giant allies. If you would like to see some more of us before that, you will have your chance, as Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, depending where you are in the world, we will be down in the Underdark as our wonderful Out of the Abyss adventurers have escaped from the lost tomb of Kayem with a rather splendid sentient sword in their possession, and they are going to continue on their way to the Myconid Grove of Neverlight Grove in search of their Minotaur friend Ignatius, and hopefully they'll be able to find where he has gotten himself to and continue on their way on their mission to try and escape from the Underdark. Then later on Thursday here and all over the world at various points during the day, we will have our next session of one-shot roulette, the entirely randomly generated game. The characters have been randomly generated. They're a mess. It's beautiful. And you can jump in and see us roll the location, roll the plot, roll all of the stuff at the start of the session and dive right into whatever the dice have got in store for us as we enjoy this marvelous creative exercise that is one-shot roulette with the fabulous guests of Patch from Quest Junkies UK, Scarlet from Scarlet Sons, and Josh and Elle from Dreaded GM, along with our very own Marin and Michael as well. It's a fantastic crew, and I hope you're able to join us for that. And then that'll bring us round to Saturday, and I believe this week we are over on Quest Junkies UK for our next session of the Rodania Chronicles, and do join us for that and see me as a player as I'm playing my Bearfolk Warlock, which is a good time. Barefoot Warlock and Barbarian as well. Sorry, let me get the full mix in there. A Wild Magic Barbarian, no less. Do come on over, that's always a good time. And stick around today, we have something a little special planned for our raid today, as our good friend Vicky from Sirenscape is starting a brand new show near and dear to our own heart, she is doing her own form of roulette as she is spinning the wheels and seeing what the roulette turns up for her, and then on the fly during the stream creating an original sound set using all the various elements from Sirenscape for whatever the roulette wheels throw in her direction. So stick around for the raid. Today is the first ever episode, so let's go over, head on over there, send all your love. If you've got them, let those phoenixes fly. But until next time, we will see you all very soon. And as we like to say, around these parts, Oyasumi Nasai. Thank you, everyone.
Oyasumi.
Bye.
Oyasumi.
Thank you.
Yes.
Me.
Thank you for the follow. Cheers.